Hey there everyone, Pal here, and welcome back. It's time for another Star Citizen video, and it's been a little while since I've done one of these. I took a little bit of a break, was just a little burned out on making content. I also did some experimenting. I found out that if I remove the watermark, my little thumbnail from the corner, it actually reduces render times by a significant amount. That little watermark adds like 30% to the render time. Anybody else know that? I'm sure some people did. I've never really experimented with it. I didn't realize that was causing that. So I've been doing some experimenting, some messing around here and there, but I was also mostly just taking a break. There also hasn't been a huge amount of Star Citizen content to really talk about. There's a lot of things on the horizon that we can see. Obviously 3.0 is coming pretty darn soon. Probably going to see that going into Evocati test hands in the next 30 days or so, and then into general player base, more testers in about 45 to 50 days. Late July seems like when it's going to roll out, which isn't too far off. You know, I came into this year expecting May, June timeframe, so July is not too bad. I'm not too disappointed with that. So yeah, I'm okay with that. In the meantime, though, I don't know how much Star Citizen content I can make. I'm not going to be one of those people, and I've said this in a previous video, though, I don't remember which one. There's a number of channels out there right now that every time there's a new article posted on the forums, a new Around the Verse goes up, any type of video, they dissect it and they compile it into these 8-minute videos and stuff. That's not me. I don't want to regurgitate back information that you could have gotten somewhere else. And nothing to knock against those guys. They do great content. I watch a lot of their videos, use that to stay up to date, but that's not the type of content I want to make. That's not the thing I'm going out of my way to do. So in the short term, until there is more things to come across, yeah, I'm a little light on the Star Citizen side of things, but it should pick up quite a bit here in the next month and a half when we start getting into 3.0. That's going to really, hopefully start to flesh the game out and set up the expectations for what this game could be in 2-3 year time period when it is fully launched and we are actually playing the mostly complete version of the game. Let's be very clear. I said mostly complete because this game is never going to be complete. Like any MMO, it's constantly getting new features, new, not expansions, but new content added to it. And I fully think Star Citizen will continue to get content added to it for a long time post-official launch. So that's fine. That's kind of where we're at right now. Now, I did have a little bit of a subject for today. I've just been going back through, looking at a lot of the back and forth between the naysayers and the defenders. And I don't want to say an epiphany, that would be way too overselling it. But it occurred to me, I looked at games like Grand Theft Auto 5, like Witcher 3, basically games that had delays in them. Grand Theft Auto 5 is probably one of the big ones, especially if you were here on PC. There was a lot of annoyance when GTA 5 came out on consoles and we had to wait, what, a little over a year before we got it on PC. And there was a lot of people, oh, they're so mad, so mad. But once it did come out, since it was good, since it was a very solid port for PC, added features in and all of that, you don't hear any of that anymore. It is what it is, and you forget about a lot of the drama leading up into the launch of the game. And I think that's very much going to be the exact same thing that happens with Star Citizen. If Star Citizen manages to deliver even 70-80% of what it's promising to do, I think a lot of the negativity is just going to be completely forgotten. A lot of this is just made up drama because we're human beings and we like drama, especially on the internet, I guess. You know, there will always be the people that the game is never going to appeal to. There's going to be people that just aren't into space simulators. There's going to be people that can't really get into the pacing of the game, and I would absolutely understand this, because when the game is going to be popping off, when it's going to be at its best, I think Star Citizen is going to be great. Multi-crew ships flying around, getting into space battles, things like that, maybe trying to steal something out of a ground outpost and get away with it back to your ship. A lot of those things are going to be, whoops, I just whacked my mic, are going to be really cool and really fun. But I think there's going to be a significant amount of downtime between them. There's going to be time when you spend just flying from point A to point B, and that could be 5 minutes, it could be 15 minutes, it could be an hour. We don't really know. And that's going to be a big turnoff. If you've played World of Warcraft or vanilla World of Warcraft, you'll remember very clearly flying the flight points up and down the coasts of the different continents early on was really slow, and it was a turnoff for a lot of people. Now, having that did have a very big positive. It fleshed out the world. It made the world feel like an actual location. It wasn't just a bunch of instances tied together through load screens, and that was a very good thing. But it was a turnoff, and I think Star Citizen is going to have similar effects along that line because there is going to be these travel times which could be significant between point A and point B. There'll be a lot of downtime, which is going to be a turnoff for some players. But then there's also just going to be players that are going to not be able to get into the mechanics, be it the first person shooting or the flight mechanics, whatever. So there's going to be those naysayers that no matter what, the game is just not going to be for them. But for the people that the game does appeal to mechanically, if Star Citizen, and that is a big if, but if it delivers on its promises even 75% of the way, when it does finally come out, be it even 2022, which I don't think is realistic, but let's just say that's what happens. Once we do get our hands on it and we can enjoy it and really play it to its fullest, the waiting 5, 10 8, 10 years won't really matter anymore. Once you can actually play the game and it is good, if it is good, all that other drama doesn't really matter. There will be still obviously some small issues, ship balance, this or that. There's always going to be people, I want my ship buffed, I want that ship nerfed, this gun's OP, whatever. But the overall general appreciation, all of that other stuff leaning into it will just mostly be forgotten. And I think that's the most important thing we can really remember about this game. Everything right now, all the drama and the discussions and stuff is really not all that important at the end of the day, depending on if the game delivers. And yeah, there obviously, like I said before, that is a big if, though we did just surpass $150 million funded into the game. Realistically, we've had this discussion before. Everyone's going to have their own numbers. I'm guessing that they have already spent somewhere between 40 and 60 million of that, but that still leaves them with about $100 million. And if they've spent 40 to 60 over the first 5 years, obviously the amount they're spending now is greater because they're larger, but they do have the money for at least another 3 years worth of development. And that puts them pretty much right on line where they probably need to be in order to actually complete the game. Especially when we watched the Around the Verse videos recently, and they're showing off a lot more of the core tech actually working. I think the next 8 months, so basically the second half of 2017, maybe a little bit into early 2018, I think we're going to see the game take massive strides forward. We're seeing the planetary tech coming in. We're seeing a lot of this other stuff that they now have at least prototype functioning in-house, and we should be seeing that implemented into the engine relatively quickly. And once those items are in the engine, I think from there, the actual content creation with those tools, with those items, should come pretty darn fast. So yeah, I think overall it is positive. I realize I've kind of been rambling. This video was just kind of me getting back into the Star Citizen discussion, getting ready for coming up into 3.0, making more content. But at the at the end of the day, I just want to remember that it all doesn't matter if the game is good. Despite whenever it launches, if it's good, the rest just doesn't matter. And that's what I think is the most important thing to keep in mind for Star Citizen, hence the clickbaity title. Alright guys, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Hopefully you keep checking back into the channel. I'm going to try some different videos, some more general discussion stuff about gaming in general rather than focus on Game A, Game B, Game C. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Until next time though, this has been Paller. Thanks for watching.